Hey now, welcome to another edition of Refreshing Thoughts. I am your host, Chris Fresh, and I'm here to talk toys, collectibles, geeky stuff, whatever takes my fancy, and hopefully it tickles your fancy. Um, Big shout out to the Shine Worldwide who give us the entrance music, as I like to call it, for Refreshing Thoughts. You can find them where all good rock music is found, like the awful Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, YouTube. And yeah, check out Rock the Devil Out of You, their new smash hit, the song of the summer, as I like to say. But I'm here to talk, as you would have seen by my thumbnail, maybe a bit of a over exaggeration, but that's what thumbnails are for. But a collector's crisis that I'm having. And it's funny, it's come in waves, and something got said on a YouTube stream that I really enjoy watching yesterday. And it really resonated with me on top of everything that had been going through my head. So I'm going to talk about that. So I try and keep pretty positive about collecting, and that's not really going to change. It's more, I guess I'm thinking aloud, and I'd love to hear from you commenting underneath this video or on social media, what your thoughts are about this or your experiences and stuff, because interacting with you and hearing from you um, helps create great toy dialogue that I love having. Toy friends are the best friends, as I like saying here on Refreshing Thoughts. But I guess the crisis I was having was post Christmas, and I had a lot of new toys. And like most collectors, I assume if you buy quite a bit of stuff, you get a bit of a build up because it's a bit of a task to figure out where it's going to go in your collection. And some stuff, you've got a clear idea of this is where it's going to go. Some stuff fits into a themed shelf, perhaps. Or, sometimes you're not exactly sure how it's all going to work out because of space danger, which a lot of collectors tend to have. And I was looking at it, and I started looking around my room and asking myself the question of, it's going to sound a bit morbid, but my own mortality. I turn 47 on February 12th, and I'm not getting any younger. I've got a young family, and you start to look at your collection of going, is this going to be a burden on them in the future? And then you start thinking to yourself, well, I'm going to be dead. I'm not going to complain about it afterwards. It's not my problem, and it makes me happy, and which is all true. And I was sort of looking and asking myself the question of, if I was to scale back, what would go? What could I do without? What could I not do without? It's always the eternal collecting question, isn't it? And I was having these thoughts, and I was putting stuff away, and had fun and sort of didn't think about it again. Then here in Australia, we have what we call hard rubbish, where twice a year here in Victoria, our local council allows us to put furniture and stuff that perhaps doesn't fit in the bin that you'd normally take to the tip. We can put out on a nature strip, and they'll come collect it. And I had a bit of a flood in a storage shed, not the room that I'm in, and some stuff got ruined. And I was sort of relieved, it was like a band-aid ripped off. It made the decision for me. I just threw it out because I've got tubs of stuff of that I've got no room to collect. I don't feel that connected to, but I hate selling. And some of the stuff, the effort to sell it, the small monetary return I would get is not worth it. And a lot of people will go, well, why don't you set up a stall at a collector's fair? Well, you've got to pay for the table. You've got to pack it all up. You've got to price it. You've got to go to the fair. You've got to spend your whole day. You've got to set up at the fair. You've got to spend your whole day there. You have to talk to people. And these are all things that I go, well, surely the amount of money that I would make, it wouldn't make it worth it. Now, going to a fair and looking around and buying stuff and chatting with my friends and stuff, love the Vintage Modern and Toy Fair here in Melbourne. Brett and Sarah's Adelaide Comic and Toy Fair in Adelaide, the two best toy fairs in the country by far. Love attending them. Love, love, love. But the idea of having to set up is, you know, no thanks. So it's just going to sit there, until I guess I chuck it out or I give it away or maybe I put it up as a lot. It's a bit of torture. But I sort of moved on and didn't think too much about it. But I then I was listening to Geek Dad Life. One of the inspirations for Refreshing Thoughts. I really enjoy that channel. Gary, Quip, and Jay are amazing, and I enjoy their show every week, along with Toy Anxieties, another one, and Mad Hatter Reviews. Are probably the three big channels that I enjoy the most in terms of toys, and obviously podcasting. There's Toy Power. But I was listening. I had Attack Peter from Mondo, who's rad, and he was talking about. They were talking about the future of collecting and what do we think it holds. And Attack Peter said something that cut through to me, and it hit me in my very soul. And that was, what are we doing buying? I'm not giving his exact quote, but the gist of it was, we buy all these smaller piddly collections from the shelves when we could get statement pieces, and because I love to say I can't afford that. I think even on my last Refreshing Thoughts, I can't afford everything, is what I was saying. And I love the Mondo Turtles, and I love Mondo's products, but it's pricey, particularly to get in Australia, like the Real Ghostbusters line. But what if I didn't do what's been happening to me quite a bit recently? And that is opportunity buying. Now, in Australia, it's really being amped up because it appears at retail we're getting more toys than ever. And don't get me wrong, I love it and I'm happy for Australian collectors. But I've got a problem. I love the thrill of the hunt. Love it. Love, love, love it. Love checking the toy aisles. After this, before I pick up my wife from work, I'm going to go check out the toy aisles. Hope I find something I don't want or need. And we've been getting so much new stuff that I think I've been picking up stuff that I might not ordinarily get if I had to go out of my way to get it. And that's an interesting proposition, isn't it? And I'm going to touch on the 2000X Masters of the Universe by Mattel. We got them here at Australia early, and by gosh, it was exciting. Big W sell them for $26.99. Kmart sell them for $19.99. Big W got them first. I found them in Big W, put up a YouTube short, got a lot of engagement. Very exciting for the channel. But Mondo's bringing out their 2000X line, and it's incredible. And the non-exclusive versions are $100 US. You go to Toy Stalker and use code Hatter. I think it's code Hatter. You get a discount. It's very cheap to buy from Toy Stock. I've had a great experience using them, importing in. So there's a tip for Aussies. Toy Stock is great. First used them to get Flipper and a few other items. But anyway, so I started getting the Mattel 2000X stuff. And it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's cool. It's available at retail. It's accessible. But so 10 of them would probably easily get you a Mondo, one amazing Mondo figure in, and you probably get some change from it. And that Mondo piece will be the ultimate representation of 2000X He-Man. You won't get any better. Or you can have a cluster of 2000X He-Man they're sort of just there. There's not much cooler. Some would argue not as good as the original Four Horsemen designs of the early 2000s. And I remember I sort of had this with Origins. A crisis I had a few years ago was Toy Power were talking about it, and I was listening to Scotty talk about his collection and everything. And I was like, why am I collecting Origins when I could use all of that money that I put in Origins to complete my vintage collection? Because, I'm so close to completing my vintage collection. I'm buying these Origins because they're there and they're available, and it's a dopamine hit that you get from the shelves. But is it stuff that I want? And I was going, excuse me, I'm always ducking out and grabbing toys. When I was going through my shed, and this is an example, I want to give you an example. When I was going through my shed and I was looking at the toys I had in storage, I saw this. I found this figure to be really cool. It's a modern Hasbro figure. It's Black Suit Spider-Man. They sucked me in with the vintage packaging because it looks pretty. This was just sitting in storage. I bought this at the time. Don't really remember when I got it. Thought it was really cool, needed it and stuff. And then it meant nothing to me. You could do that times 100 in this room. Or I could have, not bought a heap of Marvel Legends figures that don't mean anything to me and got perhaps the Hot Toys Japanese Spider-Man, which would be an amazing Marvel piece to have in the room. Or, some of the Mondo Alex Brewer stuff, that he's been doing. I talked about EB Games and Zing had some pretty amazing Black Friday sales. And here's what I got in those sales. Now, I got the Superman Godzilla set. I got the Spider-Man 2 Gamerverse Venom, and I got Mr. Terrific. I like all of those figures fine. I got them for, I think, I can't see the receipt there. It's about $142 in total, which is a bargain. We're talking Australian dollars. For those checking sales, probably about 90 USD, if people were wondering. I got all of that for. And, I love Godzilla, love Superman. I love all of those characters. Venom's sitting on my desk, and the figure's cool, but I feel nothing from the figure. It's sort of, he's just there as desk fodder. The Mr. Terrific, I haven't even opened, or sort of, I love the movie. I love Mr. Terrific, but I don't know where that figure in particular fits in my collection. And the Godzilla Superman set is really cool, but it's actually sitting under my desk facing outwards, not on display. So really, I got them because I felt they were such a good price, I should get them. But they haven't added anything to me emotionally to my collection. And they're certainly not taking pride of place in my collection. So aside from the cool feeling of I got these for a great price, did I? Because if they don't mean anything to me, what was the point? But I'm not even saying that I won't do it again. Like, this is the madness of me. And not every collector has this problem. I always say Ben Sachs, Sean Fuster, Quip, they have amazing restraint, and I respect them so much in what they do and what they get. But I don't have it. Like, you're all gonna laugh at me, but they went on clearance and I had to get myself the Megazord, because it was like a 90s. I have to pay respect to the Power Rangers who I've ragged on forever, but the Megazord's cool and I'm paying respect to it, and it's cool having a Megazord. And I've stuck him in front of my Ninja Turtles arcade cabinet where I've got a bit of a display. It looks cool, but I'm never going to look at it. It doesn't really mean anything to me. So did I need it? I don't know. Like, I love this mad collection of toys I have. My room makes me so happy. But I've never been in a financial position to buy a house, so we're renting. And we're just lucky that the house that we're in at the moment has this amazing space that I've been able to set up. I don't know that I'd get a house again that I'm gonna be lucky enough to have this. Then what? Then what does my collection become? So I start asking myself the question, should I be downsizing a little and having, as Attack Peter said, statement pieces? Like my Ninja Turtle stuff. I'm heavily into Joy Toy at the moment, which is fine. It's small and easy to display. And I've got like the NECA Toon line, the Super 7 Playmates esque line. I've got the vintage stuff. I've got all of that. And it all means something to me and it's all cool. But could I get rid of the Super 7 and the NECA? Maybe just keep the NECA movie stuff and like just have the Mondo soft vinyl stuff. And would my Turtles collection be cooler? Maybe. But what is it with me that it's not enough and I need these two giant shelves of Turtles stuff? It was overloaded where I don't know where to look, but it is cool. Like the Super 7 Playmate stuff is some of my favorite Turtle stuff. It's really cool, but it was a lot of money to collect. And if I didn't spend that money on that, could I have more statement pieces and my collection would be pared down and more manageable? Like maybe. Like, you know, I've got quite a few McFarlane Batman stuff. And I really like it. Like it's underrated. You know, I've got the 3 Batmobiles from the movies. I've I'm I'm sort of just chasing now Poison Ivy, Batgirl, and Robin. I've got like the Batman Return set. I've got Mr. Freeze. I've got the 3 Batmen from the movies. I've got Two Face and you know, and I like that representation. But you know, I've got a heap of superhero stuff that's sitting over there that I like, but some of it you can't even see because I'm blocking it with boxes and stuff. And it's like, well, what am I doing with it? And why am I adding to it? And you know, like the McFarlane's bringing out that new Spawn that looks really cool. It's like the ultimate Spawn. But I've got like the Kickstarter Spawn. I've got the Barefoot Todd and OG Spawn pack that he drew. I've got this cool Spawn sitting in a throne. I've got the original first wave of Spawn. And they're all more recent purchases. And it's like, maybe this ultimate Spawn is all the Spawn I need, and that's the representation. But why can I not? Like, how do I turn off the love of the game and make it and own the game and go, my collection may not be the biggest, but it's certainly one of the coolest. Now, I love my collection, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I do have these questions. And like I had a terrible fever. And look at me, like this is a crazy person. Just I had been to Toymate Fountain Gate. I had been chasing Jesse Ventura and Steve Austin from Legends 30. They're not even out in America yet. An Australians started posting. Ryan Eddie Edmonds, one of my favorite follows. I used to listen to him on Action Figure Blues, pioneer in toy podcasting. Eddie's a great collector. We occasionally interact on social media. He still hasn't accepted my Facebook friend request, but fair enough. But he just coincidentally had posted that he saw the Jesse and Austin in Kmart in the city just before Christmas. And then I was hitting Kmart's like crazy looking for them and I couldn't find them. And I was hitting Kmart so much that I was starting to detest Kmart. And seeing the aisles and being disappointed every time. My kids were like, they knew Legends 30. They knew what figures to be looking for. They're looking, but I had this fever. I had to find this. Like, this is at retail. I need to get this. And there was no chill to what I had. And I particularly wanted a Jesse Ventura, but I do like that Austin. If I'm going to have a Stone Cold, that Austin, the baseball jersey was cool. I had that baseball jersey back in the day. I'm not a big 97 and late Montreal Screwjob and beyond fan of wrestling, but you know, I do like that, Steve. And they had LJNs. Like, I could have spent a fortune there. They had a Piper's Pit box set and stuff. Now those LJNs might look familiar because I've got them. I've got the Hogan black card. I wanted to get him on blue card, and I've got that Dusty. And but I've got the confusing thing about me is like it's like, oh my god, LJN's on the shelf. I've got the original Hogan loose. I've got that Hogan on the black card, which is cool. Did I need to also have him in blue? And a part of me screams yes, and a part of me screams no. Like, here's these two. I've had them for days. I haven't even got around to opening them, but I had these sweats that I needed to get them. 35 each. So that's $70 for figures there. Now, I don't regret getting these two. Like, on the shelves, don't regret it. The more curious purchases were these. Now, the Dusty Rhodes and the Hogan. Now, this is the third Hogan I own. I'm going to keep him on card. Like, it's iconic, but how many do I need? Now, this Dusty. Why'd I get him? This. Oh my goodness. They've really packed it on, but I am. This is funny. A weak tiny man cannot open his LJN figure, but I got it because I've got one already, and I wanted to see the poster, and I wanted to open it. Yeah. Oh, I do like that smell. How cool is that Dream Daddy? I didn't even notice that the police hat has a blue tinge to it, which is really cool. I wanted to open him. Don't regret it. Don't regret buying him one bit. Really nice figure. Wanted to see what the posters were like. I've heard they're smaller than the original LJN posters. So, but it's the Hogan where I question myself. Now, they were $42 at retail. Oh, they are smaller. But how cool is that? If that doesn't take you back, why they called them WWE superstars, I get it, but they've already got a superstars line, which is like the AWA Remcos, LJN, and Mattel there. Like, I don't regret that purchase. To me, that is a statement piece. But I am regretting getting the 2000X Masters of the Universe stuff in hindsight, because I don't really feel a connection to it. Every time I get a Masterverse figure that's not Fisto, Hordak, or She-Ra, I'm like, what am I doing? Why do I do this? Like, sure, they're nice figures, but I don't care. Like, so then I started looking at my Master of Universe Classics figures. And they're some of the nicest He-Man figures you can get. And the movie figures I would never let go of. Fisto, Ram Man, the He-Man Skeletors, She-Ra, I wouldn't let go of. Like, they're my guys. But a lot of the other figures, they're sort of just there. They're really cool. But should I be selling them and putting that money towards something else? Like, instead of buying some of this stuff, if I had a Mondo Battle Cat? Maybe. But, how do I pace myself? How do I stretch it out? And this is the crisis I'm having. Should I be downsizing? Like, look at this. I love Hasbro figures, and they were collection, Matty Collector. Is that what it's called? Is it Matty Collector? Mattel Creations is what it is now. A bit of it. Master Universe Classics was obviously making me have a throwback. Matty Collector had these at a really good price. I don't particularly love these figures. Like, they're cool characters. But Mitch at Grapplers and Gimmicks Hassle Toys, he did a way better Sherry than that. That Warrior's not great. I would like the IC title. The figures are fine. I'm never going to display the ring, but I wanted the Brother Love. But where do I draw the line with retro figures? There's more retro figures than there were ever Hasbro figures. And that's cool in a way. Like, bigger collections at the moment have 2 new Bryan Adams or Crushers, but good guy Crushers. I've got the 2 heels. I'm going to get them. But, they had a Perry Saturn, they had a Marcus Bagwell and Patriot and stuff, and they're all cool. And if that's all I collected, that's kind of cool. But I almost feel like I need to be drawing the line in the retros. It's like, that's going to be interesting, because once they go, they're gone. Like, the secondary market's really expensive. Sorry, I'm really distracted by Dusty. Mattel's doing great stuff with the LJNs. And $42.99 Australian at retail. The fact they're coming out at retail, hopefully they hit stores and they're more accessible because only one toy mate has gotten them in so far, to the best of our knowledge. But yeah, so that's my crisis. And I want to hear from you. Like, where are you at with your collections? Do you have the same problem as me? Am I mental? Yes. But when they bring out a new Cyborg Superman, and it's going to cost me $40, $50 to get, and I love Cyborg Superman, why isn't my big Toys R Us exclusive Cyborg Superman, which is a statement, enough? You know, how many apocalypses do I need? Because it seems I'm collecting all of them. Same as Cable. I've got a lot of Cable figures. But would just one Cable be really cool? Yes. And I don't know how to bring myself to that moment. Because even if I get concerned that if I started downsizing, I'm only going to end up replacing it. And I don't want to do that. I want to downsize and buy less with the idea of buying cooler. That's the concept. I just don't know if I'm capable of it. I've tried telling myself before, maybe I should just collect vintage because then, it is pricier. But if you only collect vintage, it's easier, more focused, more everything. But I've also got to be a realist. Collecting is fun for me, but I feel I could collect better. Or am I looking at it wrong? What do you think? In the comments below, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. DM me if you don't want to leave a comment. But like, where do you think I'm at? Where are you at? I still don't know where I'm at. Like, I got that. Who was that Scorpion Master Universe Origins figure? I got a cool figure. Enjoyed getting it. He's just sitting there, and I feel nothing about him. Like, I was glad I got him. I enjoyed that at the time. It came in. I was like, rad, I've got this. Then what? I don't know. He's just there. I shrugged my shoulders for the audio listeners. He's sort of just there. So yeah, I don't know. And some stuff like Spawn Series 1, the original McFarlane Spawn, I've got it there with Angela. She's not having a party. And that I sort of I salute to, and I'm glad I've got it. Some of the OG X-Men figures, I love them. They're sort of covered up. I'm not saluting to them. If I'm not saluting to you, do you belong in my collection? But there's something fun about finding them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the X-Men 97 line, a beautiful line. But I don't know that they mean anything to my collection. Does that make sense? Like, X-Men 97 means a lot to me. And getting the figures and seeing how great they looked and stuff, like, really cool, but I don't know that they mean anything to me. But would a statement X-Men 97, like just a Wolverine standing there, or if Mondo were to do a Cable, like, or Cable and Bishop back to back, that'd be cool. I maybe I need therapy, but that's more money. I just don't know. I don't know how to control my impulses of opportunity buying, especially when stuff's hitting our shelves that we never thought would hit our shelves. So yeah, that's my crisis. Glad we talked about it. I'm not negative. I'm not panicked. I'm not anything. It's just, I wish I had control, because it sounds great in theory, but maybe I wouldn't have as much fun. What would I talk about on here? There's plenty to talk about on here. Yeah, I don't know. I do want to buy less this year, but buy good. And I'm doing a bad job of it so far. So yeah, I don't know. That's me. You can help if you enjoyed this and you want to support the channel for $5 Australian a month. I've got a Patreon, patreon.com/refreshing thoughts podcast/membership. You get early and ad-free access to the videos through the Patreon app. Because a lot of people don't like subscribing to YouTube Premium. Well, you can watch it. I upload the videos directly to Patreon, and you can just hit play, and there'll be no ads. No, I believe so. I subscribe to YouTube Premium because once you've got it, you cannot go back. It's a blissful life not having ads on YouTube. Um, yeah, you can follow Refreshing Thoughts on social media. Support the show, subscribe to the channel. That really helps. Liking the video really helps, and sharing it. If you like the conversation, like the chats, get the word out about Refreshing Thoughts. Because I'm having a blast doing this. Almost coming up on a year, which is amazing. Like where I was at the beginning of this, not knowing what it was, finding video intimidating. Yeah, getting to here has been really cool. Thank you for watching. And yeah, we'll follow my crisis in real time, and I'll speak to you real soon.